just kick off where we left off last time. We started talking about activating the vagus nerve, and I said there are around 5 or 6 different methods that you can use to stimulate the vagus nerve and get into that parasympathetic nervous system. And the first one, the obvious one, the primary tool for activating the vagus nerve is the breath. And that's what we have covered up to now. So we'll have a look at the other 5 or so. We'll just make a few notes as we go, and then we can revise some future point. So yeah, number 1 just says is number 1 is breath work, otherwise known as Qigong. Number 2, we also looked at, which was the hormetic stresses. And this could be extreme heat, it could be extreme cold. Either way, you activate the vagus nerve. We know that hormetic stresses release epinephrine, initially cortisol, and then once the stress has been completed, you then get the dopamine as much as 250% above baseline. And that could easily last 3 to 4 hours after the hormetic stressor. So it could be cold shower, it could be sauna, you can mix the two, and that will stimulate the vagus nerve. You will get into the parasympathetic nervous system after the event, once the dopamine is released. So there are the first 2. Let's think of another one. Again, I think we did just about get 2 primal movements.
Just quickly on the cold shower, son, is there a point where, in time, where the cold shower sort of becomes redundant? Is it so?
No.
Is it going to be the length of
Especially not
time?
this time of year.
I mean, is 1 minute just as good as 2 minutes?
Yeah, you just need a couple of minutes maximum.
Right.
You don't have to do one of these tubs filled with ice and stay there for half an hour. That is not necessary. And even the cold water at this time of year, according to researchers that I've looked at, say it is way cold enough. It could be, many degrees warmer than the cold water as it is now, and still have that hormetic effect. So it doesn't have to be a tub filled with ice. That is obviously extreme, and some people like to do that just for the thrill of it. But a cold shower is ample, and even in summer, the cold water is enough to elicit that response. And of course, we also have the dive reflex, which has a very similar outcome. So even if, for people who don't want to go to the extreme of having cold showers every day, the moment you splash cold water onto your face, the dive reflex kicks in. And the body knows that when water hits your face, you have to conserve oxygen. And so your heart rate will lower, your blood pressure will lower. Okay? And so that is basically the dive reflex, and allows free divers then to stay underwater for extended periods of time. And that is exactly what happens as soon as the cold water hits your face, then you get that dive reflex. Okay. So the third thing we just about moved on to was primal movements. And when we were talking about three brain states, we were talking about the reptilian brain, we were talking about the primate, which is the sympathetic response, the fight or flight, the aggression, and we talked about the civilized brain, where we are now more into a parasympathetic state of mind. And the primal moves are intended to cover all three. So in primal movements, you may, for instance, start with, say, a lizard pose, and that reptilian brain will manifest as slow movement, stop, start. If you've seen a chameleon walk, it will take a step, draw back, take another step. I once had to stop my car to let a chameleon cross, and it took about 5 minutes because it was one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. But beautiful, beautiful thing. So we can get into reptilian brain by having that mindset of moving very slowly, very deliberately, stop, start. And then you can transition into primate and have the aggression of faster movement. And then obviously the civilized brain is a calmer state of mind. And you can combine all three in your primal movements. So we'll try and have a go of that today. I'll give you some initial primal moves that you can go away and practice. But the main thing is to get the flow between the three brain states, from the slow stop start to the aggression to the civilized calm, take everything in and then change again, and how you transition from one brain state to another or one movement to another gives you that flow. Okay, so that's what we're trying to achieve. And of course that can then transition into your Tamsdom. When you're free fighting, you want to get into a flow state where you're combining with your opponent, you're reacting to them or you're initiating an attack, and you get into that flow. You know when it works and when it doesn't. So primal moves, we'll have a go of that today. 4 is massage. So massage activates the vagus nerve because of course it gets you into a parasympathetic state of mind. It's very relaxing, it eases tension. And self-massage is just as good. Now in our Mum Power, we have massage of the kidney area, which basically the kidneys activate all of the meridians in the body. And so when we do that particular exercise and we then massage the kidney area, it activates your energy, controls your energy. But equally, because we know the vagus nerve starts at the brainstem and it comes around the back of the ear and it goes down behind the carotid, you can massage that area too. Because sometimes the vagus nerve can be hindered or not switched on, and you can be in a sympathetic state simply because the muscles in the neck are very hypertonic or tight and impinging on the vagus nerve. So to do self-massage, which you would start just behind the ear, and you would massage the area behind the ear and then going down into the neck. Okay, so just try it now. If you just take your fingers and very slowly though, massage right behind where the fold attaches to the skull, and just massage that area into the earlobe and then down just inside the sternocleidomastoid muscle, and behind there is the carotid and the vagus nerve. So just that gentle, really gentle, obviously oil works better, that gentle massage of this area helps release the muscles and thereby releases the vagus nerve as well. And it's a very calming and pleasant thing to do. In reflexology, where they massage the feet, because there is this connection between the diaphragm and the vagus nerve. In reflexology, the diaphragm and the vagus nerve are part of the pad of the big toe and just below. So by massaging this area as well, in reflexology it's believed you can then relax the vagus nerve, get into a parasympathetic mode. Once again. Pardon? Oh, yeah, you just want both. Yeah, both. So again, very relaxing. So just from the big toe going into the pad of the foot, and obviously in reflexology they map the whole body on the foot. So for the vagus nerve diaphragm, you want to be massaging this area here. Okay. So massages number 4 will help to stimulate the vagus nerve. 5, I've got 6 actually. 6. 5 is quite an obvious one, really, is nature. So when we go into the forest, climb a mountain, we're around water, beach, the sea, it's very relaxing, and so you get into that parasympathetic so much easier, and that in itself helps to stimulate the vagus nerve by your surroundings, and feeling release of stress and getting out of that sympathetic mode. So going into nature is really important for activating the vagus nerve as well. And the 6th one I just remembered as well is diet, because obviously the vagus nerve has to do with an anti-inflammatory response. And so if you are consuming inflammatory foods, you are not going to help the vagus nerve. So you need to think of how you can introduce an anti-inflammatory diet into your lifestyle. Obviously, the main source is plant foods. So think of that as well. So that's the 6th way. I tend not to talk too much about diet because I upset a lot of people. So I'll just say diet. So, you don't want to know the truth. Right, okay, so those are the 6 ways that we can activate the vagus nerve. The main one, the primary tool, is your breath work that you can do every day. Every day. Hormetic stresses, I say that for number 1. Hormetic stresses you can do every day. Gold gel. Primal movements you can do every day. Massage. So you can do them all.